Well, as the temperatures inch above freezing today, you may discover you've got some pipe and plumbing issues that you weren't aware of when those pipes are frozen solid.
Seems like this is when you always find out. Joining us this morning is Master Plumber Roger Wakefield, who has 45 years experience dealing with this type of situation. Good morning.
Kara, Mark, how are y'all doing this morning?
Well, none of my pipes have burst, so I'm good.
Yeah.
But if you've had a frozen pipe or pipes, is there anything you can do to keep them from bursting?
You know, one of the most important things to know how to do is how to turn the water off at your house, because if it does burst, and I've had customers call me from Mexico saying, Roger, we've got water running out the front of our house. They had the neighbors shut it off. By the time we got there, the ceiling was in the floor. So the number one most important thing is know how to shut the water off at your house, whether it's at the meter or at the valve box up by your house. That way, if you do have frozen pipes and it does bust, you can turn it off immediately. This can save you tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars. Then the next thing is, if you've got a certain line frozen, like you're not getting water through a bathtub, go ahead and open that faucet up. That way, when the water lines do thaw out, that pressure has a place to go. You don't want it to just build up, and that's what's going to cause the burst. And if you haven't shut the water off, then it's going to cause a flood. And then the third thing really is to slowly thaw them. Don't try to get a flamethrower or a torch or anything like that. Open the cabinets, let the heat get up inside there, and that's going to help it slowly thaw. And if you've opened the faucets and you've done things like this, chances are you won't have a problem.
Even if they are frozen, it doesn't necessarily mean they'll burst. So I think that's a lot of good information. Those curb keys are, 15, 20 bucks at your local hardware store. So it's just nice to have one of those on hand to be able to turn it off at the curb. But let's talk about, opening up space heaters, things like that. Anything else that folks should kind of be aware of? Any noises they should listen for? Telltale signs that maybe, hey, you know what? They did spring a bit of a leak.
If you hear water spraying in your walls, if you hear water running, anything that you normally don't hear, inspect it quick. And one of the most important things, Mark, is be careful when you're walking outside. My sewer actually stopped up yesterday. So I had to go outside, and I'm trying to walk up from my sidewalk up to where my cleanouts are. And I couldn't even walk up the hill. It was icy. So I had to go around the side of the house and walk in behind the bushes. So be careful out there. But also, like you said, that meter key, know where your meter key is and know exactly where your meter is. Everybody in your house should know how to turn the water off in case maybe you're gone to the grocery store when it happens. When I was young, my parents taught me how to turn the water off at the house in case anything like that did happen. And that's one thing I try to teach people all the time. Be safe, though. Walking up that icy hill to try to get to whatever it is, or even just walking out on the icy sidewalk, it can really hurt you bad.
Well, thanks for the insight and advice. I know that as a new-ish homeowner, I learned to do that a few years ago, and I'm glad I did for future reference now. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Roger, we're putting you on speed dial just in case.
Kara, Mark, thank y'all so much.
I appreciate you.